Since I am now going to be covering Gravy Bones in addition to Kano, my thoughts will be split on each ones. So in regards to, we'll start with Kano. The only thing that really affects us is the Bonds of Ancestry is bringing Katsu back from the grave. It was a little bit harder matchup due to the fact that he can send easier breakpoints, and it's a little bit harder to block him efficiently with they sending 4s, 5s, and sometimes a little sprinkled in attacks here and there with the daggers to chip us down. It revives that deck, bringing a little bit harder, because if they play a blue heavy, they can do the AB3 method and just play slow dagger 1 to 2 attacks while maintaining 2 to 3 blues in hand if need be. Scepter Pain, Germinate. Earth Heroes weren't our issue. Flooring wasn't that hard for me as a player. Some people were having issues with it, but as the Kano deck overall had no real issues. If you played for the longer game, playing Edict, all 3 Scours, and you did a pitch stack variant, essentially should be able to take care of some of those issues for you. I would have preferred to see Germinate's a good one. Scepter Pain, I was hoping to get rid of their AB equipment on the chest piece that could also block. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. That's what I wanted, but that's a little bit greedy. Count Your Blessings, I didn't really have an issue with certain decks playing Count Your Blessings other than New. New was the only one that, when they played Count Your Blessings, was a little bit difficult to get over top. Do them be able to have easy access AB3 and Spell Void 3, hitting 6 on our Wildfires, essentially KO when they're banishing half your deck throughout the pitch stack. In regards to Gravy Bones, I would have liked to play the Count Your Blessings Gravy Bones, but that's just me. I like the little bit slower, grindy feel of it, an inevitability that I am going to kill you and take over your life force as a Necromancer. I don't know how it would have gone into flooring in regards to Gravy. I think he would have been okay, as long as you brought like AB1. Granted, now that we don't have to worry about Scepter Pain, we don't have to bring any more than AB1 for sure. You can pitch some of your allies and stuff. It's easy to get them that way. Even if they have like their on-hit discards, you don't really care if you discard your allies. Bonds of Ancestry, I think aggro decks are going to be an issue for Gravy regardless, especially if they can take out some of their smaller ones. Blitz, I don't care as a format. Living Legend is interesting. You can see what kind of cards were banned. They don't really affect either of those heroes, and I don't really play Living Legend myself because I don't have access to those type of events that often. And then the biggest thing, so when I initially saw this, I was peeved about the 1.5 for older heroes. I think this is a little bit lazy design due to the fact that the two things are 1.5 times 0 is still 0, and then they want these heroes out of the way. Well, if they want these older heroes to be gone, they should have just made them better cards to make them actual potential winners, and then they wouldn't be as stagnant. Like Betsy, Bolton, these are all heroes that have high potentials to do big things, and now that they're over their 2-year mark, essentially by the time they'll get a good card, especially Bolton, they might just steamroll. Like if Warriors become the best class, which is not likely because they're played too fairly, they could steamroll their LL points fairly quickly. I am not as mad about it because looking at specific heroes, if they give them 1 to 2 cards, the meta will play around them and they'll get some extra points. But I'm just hoping that they are heavy with the bans and restrictions on things that are good. Even on these ones, like halved, that's a little much. I would have gone like 0.75. I know it's a rounding issue sometimes on the first year, but if they are not putting anything on the throat of the people that are going good, like let's say they're like, most people did the realization, if Aurora's points were halved, she would still be around. I'm like, yeah, but I'm hoping that if she was still around, they would have made some bans. She wouldn't be winning all the points. Like even if you win all the events, you're still getting a lot of points, even if they're halved. This is for them. I've noticed from a lot of communication with other people that this is potentially to give them more time to look at the hero, see what they missed in their testing. And that's where these points are like, okay, cool, we can play around with what we think the hero will need at the end of their year to make sure they're not dominant, but they're still a playable hero. It gives them the time for that. Whereas Aurora, they should have been on the face of her after the first major events. They're like, okay, cool, yeah, they're not winning that major events, but they're getting a lot of points. RTN. ProQuest, what should have happened? Second year, I think this is pretty good. I would have preferred like a 1.25 if we're going to do this, and like a 0.75, so that way we can meet in the middle of all the heroes. Because I think if they legitimately just made a broken hero, it should just be gone, like Starvo. It should just be out of here. Moving on, we're going to high C spoilers. There's only we only care about one class, and that's the Necromancer one. So we'll go over a quick glance at some of these. I'm kind of upset that there's no legitimate weapon. I know illusionists don't have like a pseudo real weapon, but they still had something other than this, and this can be blown up by guardians because it has no block essentially. But this is a very key card for the class, whereas you get to look at the top card, which is nice for some of their abilities like Gravy Bones. Like, hey, do you even want to discard a card and draw the card that you're getting? But giving your first card you play go again is good. I've seen a few different cards. This one might be played as it's a nice 0 for 6 depending on what you want. 0 for 4. It's a defense reaction versus a block, which is nice. So I might be playing a more blocky one, depending on how the meta is in my local area. I like this card. I'm just going to be covering key cards. If you want to look at the full set, Fat Warrior / High Seas has the full set spoiled. We already know Chart the High Seas is in every deck. This one I'm up in the air about, depending on what your cost is for all your allies. Like if you're playing a Whaler Humperdicker, Dink, you're going to want give no quarter. But if you're playing something like your 0 cost aggro allies, you're not going to need the discount on it. So depending on the build you're going on, if you're going like an aggro, give them the go again package here, like Jittery Bones, go again into Limp Hop along, and your Doggo, and some more go agains, Restless Bones. You're not going to need that. And then ending like on a Rigor Modus, you're not going to need the discount of this. But if you're on the higher end, playing your Chums, you're playing your Whalers, and you're playing your other high cost ones, it'd be nice into like Chowder Cook, into anything else that costs a decent amount. So I can see it's in my list. Chum, it's going to be an auto include in most decks. It might be a sideboard for more aggressive ones. It's still good into big chunky attacks, but they are easier to take out. I'm not sure about here. If you're playing against more aggro build, sure, and you have a lot of allies people are taking care of that you can just flood the board with, it's not bad. This is an instant, so you can still play an ally, do this to buff it up and swing with it, or you can just keep building on itself that if nobody's attacking it. Whaler, this is one of my favorite ones. It's just, you just get to hit somebody for 11 if you get the opportunity. These red cards that we saw earlier on, I'm not sure what the space is for it. Ante up, your next pirate attack against Gogan when it's a hero. So cards like this, I think it's going to be good in the aggro build, where we're like, okay, cool, we're going to hit you with multiple allies. So you pitch 3 into your 3 limps, and then you give your dog go again, or whatever cheap ally, like Rig, you give Rigor Mortis go again. That's pretty good for 4. I like even 3, you do 2 limps and a Rig, and you still have go again. That's pretty nice. Hoist them up, your next ally this turn gets overpowered when it hits a hero, create a gold. This is nice for your big attacks. If you're doing your higher big ones like a Rigor Mortis, giving that overpower to hit is nice because it requires 2 cards. But they can't block with 2 cards all the time. Just giving your next ally +1, it hits create a gold. So these are not bad. Like I said, you can, let me pause real quick. Some more aggro ones, your 0 cost, though. You don't need as many resources. Speaking of resources, this is not bad in the slower ones where it's like not an auto hit that you have to get. And you allow you to play or pay for some Whaler attacks. If you're short blue, you got some yellows and reds. You can just tap another ally and you're just going to swing with Whaler anyways. Angry Bones, I like these naming conventions. And the destroy the top card is an interesting mechanic to give stuff like go again. I think Jittery Bones and, like I said, Restless Bones are going to be good in the aggro build if you just want to go really wide and then hit somebody with a good ally like Dog. You want to hit somebody with Dog afterwards to get your yellow cards back, like Jittery Bones. You played it, break the chain, send the Dog, get your gold. Angry Bones is just a +1, not sure about that one. And then we have, what does this one do again? Overpower. Maybe in the red, 2 for 6 overpower is not bad. And then you can get a Watery Grave card potentially. I think Restless Bones and Jittery Bones have the most playability, having go again. Your generic, just common ones, I like Powder just for the extra health. Because if they're not attacking him, just at your turn, you gain a life each time you do it. It's not bad. For the slower bulkier matchups, I'm liking this card. And if you have a little bit more attack actions, you go light on the allies into those big defensive decks like Guardians and Brutes. Then you get a little bit +1 here to block extra value with your attack actions, and then you swing your extra resources with your allies. Using your blocks is kind of like the opposite of a embodiment Earth. It's like, I don't know what you would call it. It just gets a nice +1 effect. Essentially a 2 for 7 is not bad. Let's see, yeah. And then that's this equipment here. Destroy the top card of your deck. It's an interesting one. It's nice for draft that you can get cards off your top of your deck. Then churn through cards that you don't want. I don't think it's a big play. We're gonna skip through the non-pirate cards, and then we go into some of these pirate actions. Like, of course, everybody's gonna play CNC, Conquer the High Seas. Loan Shark, I'm not sure if my build of Gravy is gonna be doing it. 2 gold is big. I'm gonna have to see how often I'm gonna need a gold to get cards into my grave. It is really nice. Sunken Treasure is gonna be a good include just for decks that care about graveyard interactions. Like, you won't even have to hit the yellow cards per se, but it'll be nice. Tip the Innkeeper, Kiss Rum. You gotta have Kiss Rum in your deck. It's just really good. Some of these interesting, the High Tide ones. This is where, like, if you're playing those heavier attack action builds where you have your just unique allies that you want, High Tide can be handy if you're playing a lot of blues into it. Destroying items in the mirror matches is really nice, or other pirates or mechanologists even. So I can see some of these attack actions being really good. If this hits, destroy top a card of their deck. This also gets +1 overpower with High Tide. So you get a 4 for 7 that destroys the top of their deck. Again, this is now a 4 for 7 with overpower, destroy an item they control. High Tide, destroy an ally for the mirror match. This is really big. Does it have to hit? When this hits a hero, so you do have to hit the hero with it, so you can't just swing into that. Return a card. This one I'm not too sure about. Something high. Go again at the start of your turn. Pitch the top card of your deck. If it's blue, you can put it at the bottom deck. Otherwise, destroy this. If you're trying to play Fatigue Pad, Fatigue Gravy, this could be a potential stuff. Like, it's not quite drone, but you're pitching cards. And you get to see the top card with your compass. I skipped over the chess piece up top, but we all know we're going to be playing that. Gold Hook, just one of the best arms with all the overpower attacks that we have. Peg Leg, maybe, I don't know. I guess attack is Go Again. There's enough Go Again resources here that you can do it. I don't like this card. You can maybe do it in the aggro version, but you have to play a lot of blues to get value out of this. Otherwise, it's just a 0 for 1. It does get you a blue in your grave if you're doing it to break the action, the chain link. This is when this attacks real top card of your deck. If it's blue, pitch it. This is nice. Like I said, you get some. It's a 1 for 3. It's not high value. You do get Go Again, and you get to pitch an extra card, so that way you can swing allies after that. So, like I said, I could see an aggro build of the deck where you just get your weird random attacks with Go Again. You get to pitch off this as well, and you can move the top card if you're not a big fan of it. Divvy up, move half the gold counters. That's Treasure Island. Discard a card if it was yellow. Again, I'm gonna see how much gold I actually need for Gravy. Like, yeah, it's nice to draw a card or discard a card with the gold. Oops, we're going all over the place. But we're going to see how hard it is to make gold. Turn a card face down. If it was yellow, create a gold. Again, some sideboard potential for yellow heavier decks. Destroy the top card of here. If it's yellow, go gold. Yeah, it's okay. When it's defends, you may remove a gold Treasure Island. It's draft and sealed. When it hits 2 more of our cards per zone. Generic. 4 for 9. It's not bad. Expedition, we saw these. They're just for Treasure Island. When this attacks you, we discard a yellow card. If you do, against Go Again, create a gold kiss. I think, yeah, this is a good card. Again, we're getting those awkward 1 for 3s, but you're getting a gold and you're getting Go Again. Like I said, we're a blue heavy deck anyways. I like these pseudo like ships up here. If you have less gold than your opponent, gets overpower. 3 for 6. Not great. Well, there's a High Tide if they're gets Go Again. So again, some more aggressive 2 for 6s. Like I said, I could see an aggro build being built here. Attacking me, discard a yellow card. If you draw a card, go that. It's okay. If you, like I said, there's plenty of ways to make gold now, so you could figure out which ones you like the most. First attack this turn gets +3. This is an interesting way to divvy up the colors where you go 2 set first attack, second attack, third attack. In the aggro one, this is not bad. You could play the blue, and here if you got your third attack, it's +3. For each hero that controls gold, remove it. Gold counters. I'm not sure how I feel about this. For each hero that controls more gold than you, steal a gold from token they control. Gain control 1 more gold this turn. Gains go again. This one I could see in like limited, or you're just playing with a lot of gold heroes in your area. You could tech for your local area, but I don't think it'll be that good of cards. Unironically, Kano did get a good card out of here. This is Kano's new best chest equipment, as you can do it on any turn, and we don't care about if our hero is tapped. You gain a resource and you can block, so you can block it, and then you can use a resource, so that way you can see it's like, hey, can I do anything with that resource here, as I'm going to die anyways right before it breaks. That's how that works. Some generic equipment here. Amulets are an interesting one, and this here, destroy an ally, its controller creates gold equal to its cost. I think this is not bad to make a lot of gold, especially if you think they're going to kill your ally the next turn. And it has go again anyway, so you pitch one, break it, you have a bunch of gold now. Sea Legs, it's going to be a good card. It's going to be $15, $20, I think, in the long run, because I think Brutes are going to play it. They don't care about the hero being tapped. But amulets, there's one for basically everything. Everybody's going to play this one that can play it from the grave. Get an action point. Action point is just good. It's strong. Tap, destroy this. All heroes and allies, tap them. That's pretty big for a mirror match. So that's a good tech if you're playing into the other pirate heroes to have in there. It's all heroes, so you might want to use your hero ability and then attack and then use all this. That's going to be a Kano card. For pitch stacking purposes, it could replace one of your clarity potions, because if you have a discard effect, you can guarantee that you don't have to worry about it, because you can just play it from your grave at any point. Well, not at any point, as an action. Destroy this tap target permanent. If they have a really good item that they need, like it's their only cog or it's their weapon, you can just tap it. So again, if the ranger's really big and the cannon build's really big, you can just put that in and mess around with their weapon so they can't use it. +1, I don't really think it's going to be that big. Health, Verdance, I'm seeing a lot of people are going to be hyped about this. E-pot number 4, or H-pot, and then E-pot number 4, and then this one, Sapphire. These two are definitely being played in Kano. I can see this one being played in a lot of decks, specifically Gravy wants the extra resources. Everybody wants an extra intellect, so anybody that can play it and get into their grave efficiently and play it out later is not bad. Otherwise, you could just play it as is. I don't know how many people want items. I think these are just some limited cards, but they're generics. Crashdown's an interesting one. Allows you to discard a card. Jack be nimble. One of those attacks may banish nimbleism from your grave. Here, if you do, it gets +1 and go again. So some nimbleism added abilities, which is always interesting. You could build a pretty big nimbleism deck now. Flying high. This is going to be in the deck. I have the blues and yellows in mine. Of course, when this enters the arena, tap target pirate in here or ally. You can't untap until this leaves the arena. So you get a nice keep their hero down turn. So nice limited, maybe some sideboard tech if pirates are that big. Discard synergies, not sure how big that will be. Maybe Brutes might want something to gain extra life. I don't believe they'll need it. Fool's Gold's an interesting one because you get the yellow and you get the gold. So I think it might be playable since it's just a resource card. And it's an easy way if you have a consistent discard to get a gold. But I don't know how many decks are going to want it. Maybe Gravy if you're that type for yellows you want to discard, but you have your allies. Scar for Score Rabble. Nimbly is a fun one. I like this one. The text you may search for your deck for Nimbleism. Reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle. It's a nice chain ender to get Nimbleism for your next turn. Rally of the Coast Guard. I like the art here. It's homage to Rally the Rear Guard, but it's Coast Guard. It's literally the same effect. It's a 3 for 7. Nimbleism. When the next action with cost 1 or less is played, this turn gets +3. It's an interesting build. You can build a Nimbleism deck more easier now. Because you have where is it? Nimbly, you can search it. You have cards that care about you playing it. When the text, you can banish it from your grave. And then there's Nimble Strike in the previous set. And let's go with expansion slots real quick over that what we got for Wizard. We got Wizard, Burn Bear. Initially, I wasn't a big fan of it, but I do like it now. It is very fun. Some art cards. I don't know why those are in there. For dance, we don't care about really. This one's a hot topic. A lot of us were very like, oh, they're gonna kill our wildfires. Like, oh, but if it's only card, they're still taking 4. Oh, what if they hit our middle spell? All the buffs on the middle spell are gone. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we'll have to play around it. Now we'll go with the Kano deck. Like we said, Old Knockers is now our new best chess piece. It allows us to have a resource either our turn or our opponent's turn whenever we need it. We still have the Spring Tunic as needed. So Burn Bear's added. We have the Sapphire one we're working with and the Ruby Amulet. So the Opt one, you could replace Clarity, but Clarity is whatever one you look better. This is a cheaper card anyways. We're not sure if Clarities are still going to be making the cut. Right now, we're still doing testing with the list. Let's see if the 10 potions is too much. And this is what I have for my... We'll keep the 2 lists in the description. Like I said, I have the chest piece, because why would you not play it? I am on the D-React. I am on Honk of the ICs. I am testing out the Jittery Bones. They're okay. Lone Shark's okay. And then, like I said, I have the 2 Flying Highs. This is just me trying out all the Gogan options. CNC, and then for the slower matchups, or more of this from like Kano, if they're trying to draw a lot of cards on the turn, I just make them discard it. They're more than likely going to kill me anyways, but extra life comes in, Arcane Barrier 3. Now, Section Whaler, I don't think you need more than 2 Whalers. Lead the Charge, I'm playing for the action points, and I'm trying to go again package here for a little bit more aggressiveness. And then, but I think I'm going to lean towards more a, not quite fatigue, but staller, build out my board, try and get value. So I might have a little bit more attack actions in here. Give No Quarter isn't the best in this list that I have going on until I bring in the higher cost Whalers. But that's what I'm working with. I do think all 3 potions are going to be really good in here. I was trying out Riches. It's not bad. It's not bad. But that's what we got at the moment. That's my opinions on the BNR. The Pirate Necromancer cards that came out. Kano's going to be doing good. And I think Gravy's got some good legs on him.